Captain Midnight.
Last week, Justice League wrapped up its run in theaters, grossing a grand total of $222 million domestically. To put that in perspective, that's less than Wonder Woman, less than Man of Steel or Suicide Squad. I mean, it didn't even do as well as Maleficent. Altogether, it's a deeply embarrassing showing for Warner Brothers. Now, box office doesn't always equal quality, and there's plenty of great films that failed to make a lot of money at the box office. But, sadly, most would agree Justice League is not one of them. All of this raises the question, is it time for the DCEU to end? I don't mean should they stop making movies based on DC Comics, because obviously that's not going to happen. And there's even a few in active production right now. But I mean the U part. Will the DC films continue to hold on to the MCU-like interconnected universe idea? And maybe more importantly, should they?
Justice League of America versus the Legion of Doom. This is the challenge of the Super.
So regardless of how you feel about Man of Steel, because wow does the internet have a lot of opinions on Man of Steel, it was always clear that it was intended to be DC's Iron Man, but on a vastly sped up schedule, without solo movies for all the leads coming before the big team-up movie. Which, especially in retrospect, put Justice League in a really bad spot from the beginning. Now, could the movie have been better even under the circumstances? Definitely. But asking a film to tell a cohesive, entertaining story with character development and themes, while also serving as the launching pad for entire franchises for characters that we haven't even met yet was just a terrible, terrible idea. But hey, it's not all bad. Wonder Woman was well received, Suicide Squad and Man of Steel both have their fans. Maybe DC has just been going about this wrong. Maybe instead of playing Pepsi, or let's be brutally honest here, RC Cola to Marvel's Coke, they should just do their own thing. Something completely and totally unlike the MCU. And that might just be what they're doing. Other than the Aquaman movie, which was pretty far into production by the time Justice League hit theaters, it looks like most of the other Justice League related projects have gone pretty quiet. I mean, sure, Wonder Woman 2 is right on schedule because probably nothing's gonna stop that money train. But the Flash movie has been delayed more times than Bruce Wayne's parents have been shot. Plus, Ray Fisher, the actor playing Cyborg, has signed on to do other stuff when his solo film presumably would have been shooting, and is looking very likely that Matt Reeves' Batman won't feature Ben Affleck at all. So really, depending on how well Aquaman does, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman might just be the only one left standing from this mess. And that's kind of too bad, because with a better script, I think there was some potential here.
The Super Gals, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Batgirl.
But there's another side to what DC is doing too, like the Scorsese-produced Joker movie set in the 80s, which is apparently going to be in the vein of his movies from that era. Now, I'm not saying that a standalone Joker movie is a good idea, but if you wanted to get me interested, that's a pretty good way to do it. It's apparently going to have zero ties to Jared Leto's Joker or any of the DCEU stuff, and it looks like DC might be trying to take this approach more often from now on, and that's very interesting to me. Wonder Woman is my favorite of the DCEU movies, and probably not coincidentally, it's also the one with the least connection to the rest of the universe, and the film where the director had the most creative control. Maybe it's time to lean into that. After failing to steer the ship in the right direction over and over again, I think it's time for Warner Brothers executives to just hire some talented people and let them do their thing. Seriously, don't even check up on them. Go, I don't know, find a napkin that Tolkien drew a picture of a troll on and figure out how to adapt that into 3 movies or something. Just leave the DC directors alone this time around. After all, putting real trust in the filmmaker is what led to the best trilogy of DC movies ever made. No spin-offs, no connection to other films, just solid, well-told Batman stories made by one of the best directors working today. I'd be thrilled to see DC go back to that, and with any luck, now that Justice League is over, that's what they'll allow Patty Jenkins to do with Wonder Woman.
Hawkman, you find the source of those magnetic waves.
Roger, Superman.
Green Lantern, let you and I...
But then there's the other side of the argument. Maybe DC should stay the course, work out its problems, and deliver a better Justice League movie. And as a huge fan of the comics and the cartoon, that's pretty appealing. but I think they've lost the mainstream audience's trust at this point. If they decide to go in this route, I really hope they have a great vision for the movie, because it will need to have a great hook to overcome the negative association with the first. Maybe the brand is just too tainted at this point, I don't know. But there is one movie I haven't mentioned yet, which many are hoping will save the DCEU, Shazam. Interviews and set photos indicate that it's aiming to be lighter, more fun, and goofier than past DC movies. And I mean, hopefully it's good. And who knows, maybe Aquaman, Wonder Woman 2, and Shazam will all be so great that they win people back over to the DCEU concept. I mean, it's always possible, right? But in general, I'm a little more interested in DC trying to do something that Marvel wouldn't do. Fox movies like Deadpool and Logan prove how successful films can be when exploring territory that the MCU probably wouldn't touch. Maybe DC should follow suit. I know a lot of this video has come off as pretty negative, and it kinda was, but at the end of the day, I love these characters and I want to see them in films that do them justice. I don't think DC has done much of that recently, but by embracing their differences from Marvel, instead of just trying to figure out the MCU's secret sauce and add some darkness, they have a chance to do something unique. And that's exciting. So hopefully Warner Brothers has learned from their mistakes and is ready to go in a different direction. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a pretty short one this week, but only because I'm planning something pretty big for next week, so stay tuned for that. But be sure to like and subscribe, and definitely click that bell. That's becoming really important, I guess. I'll be checking out your opinions below, and I will see you next week.